Okay, so this is our first slide, which I just welcome you to this API Connect training session. So today we will be starting with that the goal of today's session is to just make you like understand what API is and walk you through the journey that we will be going to, like what are the targets that we are be going to set in the next 10 days of the session. And also we will be installing like we will be making you log in to the IBM API Connect for trial session that is provided by IBM. And then we will be creating our first API itself. Okay. So like you, as you can see, like in this first slide, what I have made is that we all know that APIs are everywhere. And but what we do is that we don't necessarily like look into it or like take care about it. Like, yeah, we are using the APIs. For example, like if you are using Zomato for ordering like any of the food or anything. So in the Zomato itself, like the Zomato is using maps. So that map is a different API that is being used by like by the Zomato application itself. Similarly, there are many other APIs that is being used by the application Zomato itself, so that its apps runs without any issues. Okay, so that's what we just have started with this like example that yeah, in your phone there are many applications here, and we are using those application with the help of APIs itself. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So example, the most common example that you hear about the APIs is that like this restaurant and and the customer example. Like if you go to a restaurant, like if there is no APIs, like you consider a scenario that there is no APIs, okay, in a real world. So what happens is that you directly go to the restaurant kitchen, you take the food, and then you go back, and there is no proper streamlining is there. You like neither for the chef nor for the restaurant owner or not for the consumer who is using that who is taking the order. Okay, but if we introduce an API which is in the form of waiter or in the billing process, so there will be proper order itself in the whole process, that you are giving your order to the waiter, and then the waiter goes to the kitchen and then ask the chef to prepare your order, and then you just come back with the and the waiter come back with the prepared order and they give it to you. Okay, so here the waiter acts as an API. So if I will give you, like, let me just share the entire screen. uh, so suppose, like, this is the client, or you can say consumer, and
This
uh,
notes can
yeah,
be provided, right? Uh,
sorry.
this notes can be provided to me.
Yes, everything will be provided to you. Uh, Moreover, I'll give you some extra notes as well, so that you can like go through it and enhance your knowledge. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a visual representation that will make you understand better that what the how the things goes. So that's why I'm writing it here. So see, so, for example, the consumer. Okay. So it goes to the restaurant. This line, this arrow is showing that we are just the path that the API is taking. Okay. So here, consumer orders uh, uh, food. Okay, like chicken butter masala.
Okay.
Okay, then what happened? That this the restaurant owner or the chef just prepared the food and they provide you back the order itself that you ordered. So who delivered? So food is delivered. So what does this mean? Like, this is one API, complete API flow. So this, you can say that when you are ordering a food, so it is like a get operation. Okay. So it is like get operation. like you want to achieve something, like you ask the restaurant to get something for you, okay, and food is delivered. So it's again a like it's the response of the get operation, that you asked for the get operation, that yeah, I provide me a food, and the restaurant just provided it to you. So you achieved your stuff that you wanted to achieve. Suppose like in between, like you wanted to update the order here, okay, like suppose like you wanted to like add something, add one extra naan, okay, add one naan. So what you are doing, you're updating your order, okay, so it is more like an update request, okay, you're getting my point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is more like a update request, and then the accordingly the food will again will deliver to you. Sorry. So here, if you see the entire process, like even this for this small restaurant and this consumer example, you see that uh, without the API's involvement, without this operation involvement, this things could not have been possible. If or even if it could have been possible, then it would have been not that much streamlined, not that much like informative for us to understand, right? So that's what APIs do in the real environment. It makes us understand the entire thing, like how like how the entire process works, or and it makes the entire thing streamlined. And it do one more very important thing, is that it secure your information. Like suppose like the food that you ordered, and these updates that you did, it's only between you and the restaurant. No third party is going to like access this information from you. So APIs itself provide this using the APIs, we get the additional level of security it's as well, along with these streamlined process. So
So
yeah,
updating like updating an order is it come in the get call only, right? Or
no, it's a different call altogether. Suppose, see, the
before?
first call is this get operation where you are ordering something, you expected something from the restaurant, okay, then adding one naan is another request that you ordered. This is
Okay.
request one, and this is request two altogether.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so because of this request two, you will get another response.
Okay. Mm, mm,
Yeah, this is another response. Okay. So that's what we have mentioned here as well, that every time when you check the weather, order a coffee, or get directions from your smartphone, then you are interacting with the APIs. That's a simple thing. Like because weather application or ordering a coffee using a Zomato or directly going to the restaurant, it also involves the APIs while processing the things. Okay. So that's what here you can see that what are the things available, or what the waiter tell, if you are telling what the waiter is, what you want from the waiter, so you are just making a request clear, then the kitchen is preparing your order, and then you are receiving what you asked for. So it's more like a request response kind of thing that you see in your real world as well. So
I
these all work in the form of APIs. Yeah. So now I have just broken the API's full form. You all know that it is application programming interface. So I
mm,
just to understand it more clearly, we just broke down into its own full form, like application separately, programming separately, and interface separately. In this way, you will understand that yeah, what actually an API is. So application is the software of your mobile app that you are trying to use. Okay, so programming, so there are it's the set of instructions or rules that dictates like how the software will operate, how it will function. And interface, so it's a connecting point, like connecting point between which two different things to communicate with each other. You can see this picture as well, that your API is the bridge, and it is connecting your application with the external services. Okay,
okay.
so this is how the things function.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can see that API, what an API is actually, like how you can see it in the digital economy as well. So you can see that what are the career aspects that you can see if you are an API developer, what are the outside the what are the real world things that is there if you are an API developer. That's what we have mentioned in this slide. So you can see that in our internet, more than 83% of the traffic, it comes from the API call itself. Like I can just give you an example. Click on, you just do right click and click on inspect. Okay.
Okay.
And you will go to the network tab. You can see that these are the calls that is happening. So these all are API calls. Okay, are the API. You can see the request here. Let me just move it more side. You can see the request here. See, this is a request. It's a get operation itself, and it is giving a 200 OK status. Okay, so you see that just by uh, putting the google.com, just by browse searching this bar, we can see that there is a request operation, this response, and the status code. Means an API got called just by calling the Google. So in every place you can see the API call is happening. So it consumes at more than 83% of the entire market. And if you get a command in APIs and the tools that is used to handle the API, then you can be either a developer or a business analyst or a project manager or anything you can be in the tech field. Okay, so these all are the career aspects that is there in if you are an API developer or if you understand APIs well.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, if you saw already that there are many things that is being done by the API. So to manage API or to create such the APIs or to provide security to that APIs, the IBM come up with a tool which is we call as an IBM API Connect. It's not just a tool; it's a comprehensive platform that is designed to simplify the entire API lifecycle. Which this API lifecycle is a very important term that you get to lot in the interview questions as well. Will come we will come to it in a later stage, but yeah, that's what like it's this tool is used to make the entire API lifecycle streamlined. Okay,
Okay.
and you can see here the four major components of this API Connect. These which are API Manager, then the analytics, then the API Gateway, and the developer portal. So what does these components do? So these components are the things that manage your APIs altogether. For example, this API Connect, it's used to for the creation of the API itself. Like you want to create the API, if you want to add some external features to the API. So everything is done inside the API manager. Then comes the analytics. So once your API is created, you are hitting the API, you're getting the response, either success or failure, or you want to see that how many hits your API had in the in last 90 days or last 30 days. So all these things they can be seen in the analytics itself, which is provided inside the IBM API Connect. Then there is API gateway. All these calls that is happening, either internal call or the external call that your API is making, either the front end is connecting to the mid APIs or the API is connected to the backend. So it requires some security mechanism. Those security mechanism is provided by the API gateway, which checks that yeah, I let this all this transformation, all this transaction is happening securely or not. No external attacks must hinder the transaction that is happening between the applications through the APIs. So that this security mechanism is provided by the API Connect tool. And then there is developer portal. Developer portal is a very important tool, which especially for the admins and for monetizing your API altogether, where the products in which your API is published, uh, it is moved to the external market so that the external vendors or anyone from the external organization they can use your API, and in that way the API that you created will give you monetary benefits. And also developer portal also enables you to test your API there, and many other functionalities like security mechanism are being started with the in the developer portal itself. We'll go more to it once we proceed with our sessions. Okay. I hope the basic understanding of these four tools is
Yep.
understandable. Or any questions here?
No, no. You
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So now what we can do is that we can like install this API Connect in for you. Okay, so for that I have made this slide so that you can see this and you can just log into your API Connect tool on your like screen itself. Do you connected? Did you connect with your laptop or your mobile device?
Yeah, laptop only.
Laptop only. So let's just do it right away with your setup and all. Is
Yeah,
that okay with you?
yeah. I already
Uh-huh.
tried many times with my emails. I think I need
Uh-huh.
to create one email ID.
Oh, you already have like completed
Yes,
your trial version or what?
yes, yes. Through my
Okay.
the
Okay. So you can do one thing. You can just create one new email ID. Okay. Just quickly, and then we can install it inside your device.
yes, yes.
Mhm. Just let me know once you are done.
Yeah, just give me a few minutes.
Sure. Sure.
It will take much time. Yeah, I created.
Mhm. Okay. So if you are comfortable, you can share your screen or you can just follow the steps, whatever it's fine for you.
Yeah, just one second.
Hmm. Yeah, open your Google Chrome. Yeah, just search with IBM API Connect trial. Hmm. Enter.
Okay.
Go down. Yes, second one. Just click on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing for me.
No problem. Sign up for a 30-day trial. Yeah, click on that. Yeah, just to give your this whatever email ID you have created, give that and give your password, whatever you want.
New password, right?
Yeah, new password. Yeah, they expect very long passwords.
Oh, okay, okay. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Okay. Phone number also need to give,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Company.
Company also. Any company give.
Okay, I can give. Here, student.
Give the student. You can give. It's fine. Go down. Just go down. Just accept all this cookies. There is no problem in accepting. Don't subscribe, otherwise you'll get many spam messages.
Okay.
Next. Click on next. You just verify your email now. Submit.
So for other technologies like MuleSoft, this toolkits are free, right? Is this IBM? Why they are not?
Yeah, like 30 days they give. You can just use another like IDs and all to just create. Yeah, create trial instance. You can just directly click on. Oh, wait. First, you just go to the deployment region and select to Mumbai.
Here. Okay.
Last one.
Okay.
Yeah, now create trial instance.
An instance need to create. Like,
No, you don't need to. Let it as it is. Create
uh,
trial instance. Yeah, yeah, it's being set up. Access your trial now. Great. Now you are able to access this IBM API Connect tool itself, right? So you can just save this bookmark this page. Okay. For logging in to this IBM API Connect tool, you just have to use the same username password that you have created. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the
In develop, you can develop. I'll show you I will give you the overview about it. Okay. Just now you can just bookmark it and I'll share my screen again. Then we can proceed with the development and all.
it is happen very easily. Not sure how, but when I tried, it was very difficult to uh, log in through this one also.
No problem. Chal. Okay. So now I also open my tool. Okay. Minute. It happened. Ah, okay, so here you can see it must be very different from your like V10 tool that you are using in your organization. I guess so, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there are multiple options that you can see now. The first one is the homepage. Here it is like this so that you can get a guide like how what is there and what are the things. So here you can see that for onboarding you are getting the intro to API Connect, then you can add a member to the organization. So it's all like you can add some other how you can do it. So they just provide you some guidelines in this entire portal that how can you do by yourself. But since I am here, so I'll help you to walk you around to all these things that you can see in the screen right now. But first we will, and this I will show you throughout the course that how you can use each and every functionality of this IBM API Connect tool for betterment, like for both for development as well, and as well as the at infra level as well. By infra I mean there must be some admin in your team who is handling the API Connect tool, who is just providing the certificates and all, who is updating the certificates in API Connect, and also who is managing the entire API Connect so that it won't get shut down or it won't get it don't have any downtime. I
Uh,
hope
Certification, I
mhm,
usually they made me the POC from January
mhm,
with the X for X 5 not
mhm,
certificate and
mhm.
LS1 also.
Okay, great. So you already know about it, so it will be very easier for me to walk you around to all these things, right? So,
Basically,
hmm,
I'm not sure about the interactions
mhm.
because if you, I'm limited to this API toolkit only, right? So I'm not
Yeah,
in the
no
concept.
problem. I'll give you the overview about the entire architecture, and in the entire architecture, I'll also go give you the overview. Okay, let's go there itself right now. See here I have created this architecture type of thing. Small, it's just a basic architecture that I have created. But as we go to the like proceed with our like courses, then I'll give you the entire system design and where the API Connect come into place, how the backend load balancer works, how the URL changes from the and how the host name changes. Everything we will be covering here. So first let's see just the basic about like um, how the architecture work actually. So I hope it's visible to you, right?
Yes, yes.
So see, first is the API consumer. Okay, API consumer means like us who are consuming the API. Then it's the applications. Okay, so application is the medium with which we are using the API, like the mobile application or the web apps or through the partner systems. Okay, then when when we hit when we start using the mobile applications, then the API Connect tool comes into picture. Okay, so API Connect, then what happens that since there are multiple APIs that is being handled by our mobile application, so to handle those multiple APIs, this API Connect comes into picture. And what it do, it provides all those four, again here these four components of API Connect that we uh, talked about earlier, that how they are processing, like the API gateway, those developer portal, all these things are configured inside API Connect so that it makes our API calls secure and streamlined. Then what happens is that API Connect provides the medium for the API calls to happen, and it provides the security for those API calls. But those API calls are going somewhere, right, to fetch the data. And that somewhere is the backend services to which it is going actually. So the API call is going from the mobile apps to the backend system through IBM API Connect. Okay, so that it is streamlined and it is secured.
Yeah.
And backend services can be anything. Either it can be a microservice service or a SOAP service or anything. So, or any legacy systems. So it goes there, and from the backend, either it goes to the data source which can be either a SQL database or a cloud service, all file system to consume the data, or we can store the data here itself in the microservice itself, and then again we can move it, give it back the data to the API Connect, and from the API Connect it gives back to our consumers to provide to get the data. Okay, so this is the basic, the most simplest form of architecture that you can see. Here, this data source is optional, but it is there in normally all the case. So this is the basic, most basic. You can see the architecture here, that you can see in uh, that happens in the while making an API call. So the same thing I have written over here as well, that request arrives. So consumer send the API request through the developer portal or directly to the gateway. Okay. Then security check is happening. So security check, how is happening? The API gateway, which is a component of IBM API Connect. So it validates the request that consumer makes. Okay. So how it validates? Through authentication or authorization, and it or any other security policies like JWT or everything that is being applied to the API. Then there is policy information. Right now, you were talking about rate limiting, that you are controlling the flow of API using the rate limiting. So these enforcements are happening to the API so that it is more secure, it is more streamlined. So we will talk more about this rate limiting and trust transformation. It is just the lines that have written to understand more about the architecture. Then is the backend call. So then request is forwarded to the appropriate backend service. And then after getting the request, after retrieving the response from the backend, then it is being transformed if it is like needed, or it can be sent back as it is. And then all these transactions can be seen in our analytics server. Okay, so this is the basic, the most simplest form of steps that happens while making an API call. Any questions here?
No, no, I'm good.
Okay, okay. So coming back to the PPT. Okay, so here, so let's what I have done here is that we thought of making one API itself. Okay,
Uh,
so
Question I have. Can
y-
you back to go to that like
this
uh, uh,
display.
the one which you showed?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so when the request is coming up, so it's
Hmm.
going through all the backend services or data centers.
Mm-hmm.
The response, we are seeing the response right, like 200 okay, and
Yeah.
like 400 bad request, unless until something is failing in the API connect only.
Yeah, see, this 400 backend, 400 bad request or any other error, okay, that you see, it's completely variable type of thing. Okay, what we can do now is that this question, just keep it on hold for now. Let's go ahead and create one API now itself, okay? And then what we do is that all these questions we will handle while like creating the API, or while hitting the API itself. So uh, let's go there. I have already created this Hello World API, but we'll go together and create another API itself so that you can see. So, okay, let me go back first. See, to create an API, we just go to this over to the API, and then we go to, if we will click on this add button here, then it will give us this option either to create an API or to create the product. Okay. So initially we will the first step is to create the API itself. So we will click on this tab. So here you can see that either you can create Open API 2.0 or Open API 3.0. This is just a difference between the version of the Swagger that you want to create by while creating a API. Okay, so we will initially create this Open 2.0 itself, and now you can see the multiple options here that how you can create the API. If you already have an existing Swagger document, okay, we will come back to, we will talk more about Swagger and the WSDL and the YAML files more in the next lecture. But you can just say that this Swagger or this WSDL, are all the compilation of the API, like compilation of the all the API rules and regulations in one form of code, okay, which you can use to create the API. So if you already have that Swagger available, then you can import that using this import option. You can see that either it accept a YAML file or a JSON file or a SOAP API or a WSDL file. Okay, so you can use that to those file. If you already available to you, you can import that and create the API. It's a simple step. But if we don't have those files, so we can use this multiple option here to create the API. Suppose we want to create a REST proxy API, okay, from the target service, but we don't have the endpoint right now, right? Because endpoint is like if you have a backend service already ready, then you can use that target service endpoint and create the API. Suppose if you want to create a like from existing open API service, like if already an open API service is already available, so you can use that to create the API. But normally what we use is that we use this new open API feature where we create this API from this we create a new REST API altogether. Okay, here you can see the structure, this architecture diagram of it, that we are just creating this API proxy in the form of open API, and we are just um, back and forth giving info like request and consuming response from the application itself. Application by application means the API Connect itself. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So suppose, but this is useful for REST API. But if suppose we want to make a SOAP API from an existing, like if above rest of the things, if you already have an existing service, then you can use the service to create an API. Okay, because from the name itself, it's very clearly understandable, like from existing WSDL service. If you'll click on it, so suppose you have a SOAP service. Okay, so here so you can see API proxy. If you have a SOAP service and you want to make a SOAP call, then you can use this option. Okay, so
Okay.
it's mostly useful if you already have a WSDL service, but we don't have that. So we'll click on this new open API. Now we will click on next. Now here you can see the title. Okay, so title you can give whatever it's in your brain that this is the API that we want to make. But sometimes in the organization, they are maintaining some specific standards by giving the title itself. Okay, title or the name of the API itself. Suppose like if it in your organization, maybe it must be starting from SE or AP AM or something like that. Why it happens is that because suppose once you create the API, okay, and when you are moving it to higher environment now, then you either will be using first you will be using the Git tool, okay, Git repository, so that you can push your code to the GitLab itself,
Yeah,
and then
it,
yeah.
we from
y-
Git only and deploying through Octopus.
Sorry, can you please repeat? Your voice
For
was.
the date limits, we are
Huh.
using the GitHub only. GitHub.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what. And then if for to run the pipeline, when you will build your code and then you run the pipeline so that the code that you move to GitLab must move to the higher environment. So over there, there are some rules and regulations. Okay,
Okay.
so those rules and regulations aligns with the title of the API that you are giving. Okay, so if those rules and regulations are not followed, then while like running the pipeline, there you have to change those rules. So that's why in common industries like TCS, Cognizant, Infosys, they maintain some norms while naming the API. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So, but since we don't have that, that restriction, so we can name it anything we want. So since we are creating this like hello world day, like a basic API itself, so we will make the name as well, like uh, world only, we will just make it like that. Okay, so if there is one more very important thing that you want to understand here, is that whatever word you are writing here in the name, the same word is coming, but all in small letter. Okay, so just remember, like if you suppose like and the base path is also come like that.
Okay.
So base path is part of the URL, which will come later to it. But the main thing that is being understanding here is that you can change the base path here, but you can't change the name. You can
Okay.
change the version itself, or you can upgrade the version once you want to change, like once you have some enhanced if you want to enhance the same API itself, then you can change the version itself. Right now we will keep the version as it, we will keep the title as this, like this simple title. If you want to describe about the API, like what this API is all about, so I am creating this API to publish to or to print hello world in response. Okay,
Okay.
so this is my target, so that I have written a description. It's a good practice to write it in description. Now we'll click next. There now you can see two options. One is CORDS, another is secured with client ID. Since we have not configured developer portal right now, so we will not click on this secured with client ID for now. CORDS will come in the next later stage. Just you understand that CORDS is useful when we are making third party calls, or it's a like a security mechanism itself. Okay, but we will come more detail about CORDS. We will talk a lot about CORDS in our upcoming lecture. Okay,
Oh,
we'll leave it as it is. Now see, our API 2.0 definition is already created just by giving the name and base part itself. Now what we will do, we will explore the options that are coming here. You can see that what title we have given and the description that we have given, it's already here. Okay. So here,
oh,
if we want to contact information of the owner of the API, then we can give our name here. But these all are optional things, license and all, these all are optional things. So for now, since we are creating a basic API, we'll not go too much details into it. We'll just focus, its time is also running out. We'll just focus on creating the basic API.
oh,
Okay, so you either you can go down or you can just hover over here. So if you see the first is the info, you can see the name of the API. And one more important thing, if you will now change the API name, na, something like that, see the same name is not coming down. So you have to be very careful while naming in the initial itself. But if you want to change the name, then you can change it, but you also have to write it the entire thing down as well in the lowercase limit. Okay, it is not applicable for this this hyphen or this other symbols, but only for letters you just have to be careful, and you have to write it in lowercase. Okay,
yeah,
I'll tell you, I'll in the later stage, I will definitely tell you why I have said this right now. Okay, so you will understand that it is important to while debugging the code, or if some other requirement comes into where they ask you to change the name, then how you have to handle. I'll definitely tell you that as well.
yeah,
So here
that,
you can see the Open API specific version. The version is 2.0. That's we have selected. We had two options, 2.0 and 3.0. So we selected the 2.0 version. Then is the host name. We can either add or not add. It's completely up to us because it's not important for now. Now comes the base path, which is will be the part of the URL. We'll leave it as it is. Then you can see the schema list. Scheme list means like either you want to make it HTTPS or HTTP. You can see there is multiple option that is coming. We'll still leave it as it is, and we'll discuss more about it in our next lecture. Then
yeah,
it comes the consume, produce. We'll leave all these things as it is, and
oh,
we will obviously discuss it. Now comes the path. So whenever you create a new API, always remember that there will be this junk part that will be there. So always the first step you must keep is to delete this part. If
yeah,
you will create the new part, na, then what will happen? This junk will always be there in place, and it can, okay, it is not always that it will give you error, but it can give you error. So in
Mm.
API Connect, you always must understand that one code will work in one API, but the same code, there may be possibility that it may not work in the other API. And the reason is that API Connect, the you can see the weak point of the API Connect, that the cookies are easily stored there and it can hamper your API. So it is always a best practice to delete whatever is not what is ever is not important, to keep your cookies clear and to keep your APIs clean. Okay.
Okay.
Now I will create this new path. So name it as hello world. Click on add. So once you click on this hello world, then again we can see there is parameters and operations. These two things pop-ups will automatically come. Okay, parameters means if you want to add any parameter, any anything, any objects, if you want to add in with the API while making the direct path call. Okay, but we will hold that parameter for now. First thing is to mention the operation. Okay, because as you remember, if you remember my this like this example where I have mentioned about where it is, we discussed about see, we discussed about this consumer and restaurant. So while making any while giving any request, we unknowingly we are creating an operation right here. So similarly here also, once we create a path, the step one will be to create an operation. So
Okay.
let it be a get operation itself, because for if we want to, or I'll discuss about it later. Let it be a get operation for now, and we will directly click on add. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you will, there will be another option. Once the operation is created, there will be another drop down. Now here you can see multiple things here, right? You can see tags, external documentation. These all are not that much important. Again, produces, consumes, all these things. These produce, consumes, you see at the top itself, but you can see at the bottom with the operation itself. So there is a difference between both of these things. What's the difference? These produces and consume is on a global level. Okay, global level means suppose we have created multiple 10 to 15 parts right now. Okay, so these operation will override all the operation that you have given here in the bottom here. Okay, so it is not advisable to give the consumes and produces this options here itself. If we want to manage it, we have to do it here itself. We have to manage it been inside the operation itself. It is a better practice to make, and it is useful to make our API like more vast, more operational. Okay. And so now the next question will come to your mind, that what is this produces and consumes? So produces means what the API is producing. Either it is a producing a JSON response or an XML response or any other type of response or a JavaScript response. So these things can be handled by here. For now, we are not producing any, we don't need to manage that. So we will keep it as it is. And
Okay.
consumes means what is it consuming, means what we are consuming, what request type we are sending. Okay, like what request we are sending in the request, what that is what we are consuming. So it is also what type of thing we are getting back from the backend. So that is that we are mentioning in the consume option. Either it can be application, JSON, XML, JavaScript, Atom, XML, multiple things is there. So we'll also discuss it in our later lecture. Now comes the parameters. We can add some parameter, like we add it as the name field only. Okay, we can
Okay.
make it a required. Okay, let's make it required so that we can see the queries that you were asking. Then we can select our operation. See, there are multiple operations. Either we can pass it the name field in the body or header or path or query. So since we are making a get call, so get call don't have a body. Okay, so we will make it in the query either or in the path itself. So let's make it in the or in the header as well. There is no an issue with the header. So we'll make it in the query. We are making a simple get operation. So that's why we are locating the name field in the query itself. Now it comes the type. So what can be the type? Either it can be array, boolean. So let it be a string for now. Even I'm 100% sure that whatever call you may have seen in your organization as well, most of them will be string operation itself.
Yes,
It,
yes.
yeah. So let's keep it as a as industry standard itself and click on add. So now our parameter is created. So now when you see that parameter is already created, but when you will click on it now, so you can see the C name here. Required field, we checked the box, then the query, whatever we have created, it's already there. Now if you will, huh, so now you can see, now click, go back to the parameter itself. Now, now you can see this response option is already there. It's 200. Okay. So this response schema, like schema is already built. It's predefined with all the API that you are creating. Okay. So we will leave it for as it is for now itself. Since we are creating just one operation, so that's why uh, we just keep it as it, and the rest of the fields also we'll keep it as it is. We'll
Okay.
discuss about it more in our upcoming lecture. We will break down each and everything that you are seeing right now. We will break it down and then discuss each and everything. So now let's just since time is running out, let's just create another. So here, when you will create any API, the first thing you can see is this invoke option where you can see the URL that is already set. Okay. If we'll go and this URL you can see is being set in this properties tab. Okay, we'll talk more about it when we will be creating the um, when we will be discussing about each components of API Connect. But for now, just remember that whatever policy, whatever thing that you are seeing in this invoke option inside the URL, that is being set inside this target URL. Okay,
Oh,
for now
okay.
we are not like hitting any target URL, so we'll just delete it. Okay, and we will set something. So here you can see multiple option. So we will use this set variable option. Set
Okay.
variable, what will do, it will set our response according to our response that we are doing. So we'll add an action. What we are adding, set. What we are setting, we are setting message dot body. Like we are setting the body of the response. What type, we can choose any of the other type, but since we are like setting a JSON response, I'm trying to set, so we'll set it as any. We'll choose any. And the value, I have already created this value, so we will use this value.
Okay.
It here timestamp is not coming, so leave it as it is. Okay. And
Okay.
that's it. This action is completed. So our set variable action is completed. We will save it so that our API is getting saved now.
Okay.
Now we will go to the test tab. Okay. So before testing the API, our first target is to make the API online. Okay. So we will click on this target configuration. You can see this all this operation is coming. We'll click on this auto publish option. Okay. When we'll click it now, then again we have to click. Okay, again we have to click this target configuration. This is a like internal you can say bug or something, that you have to click it 2 times, let it get loaded.
Okay.
Now you have to click on save preference. Okay, when you do it, then an auto product is already created. You can see world auto product is created. Okay, and it's created in which there is a catalog which is called sandbox catalog, and it's created over there. We'll discuss it more about it in next lecture. We'll discuss all this component. For now, let's go ahead and hit the API. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so just let us not give any name and hit the API. So let's see what happened when we send it. We will not able to receive any response. So when we, and this error that we are getting now, we are getting it from the API Connect itself. It is stopping us because it want us to like mark the required parameter. It want us to write the required parameter. It can't be left as empty. So that's why we are getting some response error from the API Connect itself. So let's mark it some value. We'll mark it as okay. We'll mark it as Dave. Okay.
Okay.
And now we try to send the response. Now we can see that we get our HTTP status code as 200, and we are able to give the message as hello world, welcome to IBM API Connect. Whatever this message what I tried to send using the set variable action, it is coming here itself. Okay, so this
Okay.
is how we just now created our very first API. It's a very basic API, and I know will be multiple questions that is coming in your mind, and we will answer all these questions. But for now, I just want to congratulate you that you have created your very first API, and we will talk more that how this API is got created, what are those set variable options. There are many open loops. I understand that that is
Yeah.
still there, that what the set variable action is there, what is it, how we why only we get this response itself, and many other questions like what are why how from where this except field is coming, what is the meaning of APIM debug, and on and the rest of the things. And also we will definitely handle your question about those 400 error, 500 error, and everything in our upcoming lecture, that from where it is coming, how it is coming, and how we are handling it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay.
So we can keep it for now here itself. Let me stop sharing. So Kapil, for today's session, what we have done, we have introduced about the APIs, what API is, how is it important in our daily day-to-day life, how if you can manage the API or handle the APIs, you can you can target the different roles that is there in the open market. Then we go ahead and install the API Connect in your device. Then we created a basic API in IBM API Connect. So these are the four things that we have done today. So I hope that whatever we have discussed, and also we have discussed about the basic architecture of API Connect itself.
Mm.
So these five things, I hope that you understood it.
Yes,
If
yes.
there are any
Okay.
question, please you can ask it now itself.
Yeah, I don't have any question. The session is very good. I just
Mhm.
wanted to know, like, this recording session is available, will be in the my portal, correct?
Yeah, yeah, if it is told to you that it's available, then it will definitely be available, and I believe so that it will be available to you. And
Okay.
I will make sure that in the upcoming lecture, all those open-ended question will definitely be solved.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay
yeah.
then. Thank you.
Okay, Kapil. Yeah, thank you so much. We
Thank you.
can close for now.